guys, welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. I think it's Wednesday. I'm not sure. Yes, it is. And I bet you all want to know what's in this cup. I'll tell you in a little while. I'll reveal it to you when I reveal it to Party Foul Steve. It is so delicious. Oh. I have an addiction to solo cups. I don't know if you know that or not. I keep a pile of them everywhere, and that goes way back because I have some trauma in my life that involves solo cups. So, like G. Gordon Liddy said, you just got to go in there and, kill whatever you fear. Do you know there's an old story? G. Gordon Liddy. You guys remember G. Gordon Liddy? He was from, the Watergate days. He went to prison because of Nixon. G. Gordon Liddy tells a great story in his book about how when he was growing up, he was afraid of rats. And so to overcome that fear, what he did is he went down to the wharf and he caught some rats and he cooked them and ate them over an open fire. That's how he overcame his fear. I don't know where that's coming from, but let me tell you something. Whatever you're afraid of, eat it. I got some stories about solo cups. We'll get into that. I'll see you guys in the live chat thinking I'm insane. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. It's crazy. I got some things I want to vent about. I don't want to just belabor this point about the Epstein thing, but I think we do need to talk about it because it's relevant and it is something that is a watershed issue in history. And it could be actually the downfall of the Trump administration. And the weird thing is it's a blind spot that I don't think they even see. I don't understand it at all. I've got a lot of opinions. You know that I do. We're going to get into those things and more today. This is a wild world we're living in, folks, and I'm glad that you and I are a part of it together. The greatest moment in human history to be alive right now, and not only that, the greatest place, and that is 21st century America. Whoo! Can I encourage you guys to do something, though? Can I encourage you to be careful with AI? Can I just encourage you to do that? Like when you're jumping on there, don't let the computer do the thinking for you. I went on an AI program the other day. I think it was ChatGPT, and I asked it, how do you know how to find someone's voice? Like, how do you know, like, if you were going to be Chad Prather? And it started repeating back to me things that I say, like normal vernacular and just the nomenclature of things of the way I communicate. And that is scary to me. It talks about, we know your tone is funny, serious, sometimes passionate or sarcastic. You like short, punchy sentences, bold metaphors, storytelling flow. You lean into patriotism, faith, freedom, calling out corruption. You mix biblical conviction with Texas-style bluntness. You like humor that bites and monologues that punch. I'm like, where is this coming from? It's insane. But what's happening is so many people are relying on AI to do their thinking for them. I cannot stress to you enough how much that is going to dumb you down and dumb society down, because we're fast-tracking and taking shortcuts rather than logical reasoning and critical thinking. I am so frustrated right now with stupidity. And I don't want to sound like I'm being mean or critical, but I am being mean and critical here. I read the internet and my head hurts. The fact that we are now this far into so many different things that are going on in our world, and people still simply have reduced themselves to only knowing what something they read on the internet told them. We got to do better as a society. We're dead. We will be taken over. There are people, there are cultures, there are nations around the world who are actually educating themselves, and we will be taken over by default. These people in China, man, they're educating themselves. They know how to do things, these kids. You think they won't take us over? We can't even do a search. I was literally just complaining about someone that keeps sending me text messages asking for information about something that's happening this weekend. And I'm thinking to myself, the same words you could have used to text me, you could have put on Google and found out the information you need. It's amazing to me how we've just dumbed ourselves down. I mean, you can do the research. You can look it up. You can read a book. You remember books? Do you remember books? Like actual books with paper and words on them? Does anybody know how to write a Z in cursive? We've dumbed ourselves down ridiculously. They've done studies that say that after you get out of college or after you're done with like formal education, that if you don't read consistently that within the space of 8 to 9 months, your reading level and comprehension will go down to the level of a 7th or 8th grader. You have to exercise your mind. They have created a world in which we don't need to exercise our minds. Thinking is work. It is hard work. Discipling your brain, your mind, is hard work. I want you guys to be absolute mental savages. Do not succumb to being told what you believe, what you think you know with the information you're reading on social media. Please, dear God in heaven. And you're like, but you put stuff on social media. I do. It is for a purpose. It's for entertainment. It's for motivation. It's for humor. It is for inspiration. Never at any time do we put something out there on this great sociological experiment called Facebook or Meta. We don't put that stuff out there in order to make our brains bigger and more complex. You got to fire some synapses, people. Let those neurolinks, Elon, let those synapses fire, man. Get those connections going again, those neural links. Get them connected. Good Lord in heaven. But I'm reading stuff. People are like, why won't you release the stuff that's in the Epstein binder you received? Sweet shit on a stick, man. It's literally pinned to the top of my X. And you're asking me on X. Crazy. Crazy, I know. The files, we put day one, we put them out there. Day one, we put them out there. But people can be, why won't you do it? My question to you is, and this is just an example, why won't you go look? Because you don't care. You don't care. You don't care enough to go find out the information for yourself. So I'm encouraging people, don't let this society, the powers that be, we bitch about the deep state and the cabal, the Bilderbergers, the Illuminati, the Trilateral Commission. We talk about all these, the Fed and all these people out there. QAnon and 4chan, Illuminati nonsense, all this stuff. Oh, they're controlling us. The deep state has us. Oh, there's 4D chess. And they were like, oh, did you see what so-and-so put on Instagram today? Stop being stupid. Tell me in the chat, what do you believe? Do you believe we're dumbing ourselves down? There's a criminal probe into the former FBI and CIA directors. I want to talk about that in a minute. But before we do, I want to talk about my friends over at Birch Gold. You want to do something smart? Protect your retirement. Diversify your savings with gold. You can do it. Text CHAD, Chad, that's how I spell it, to 989898. I heard my girlfriend talking about this on the radio yesterday, Megan Kelly. And don't you use her promo code. Use my promo code, Chad, to 989898. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, tens of thousands of satisfied customers. If you've got that old 401k or an IRA or savings account that's sitting there doing nothing, or if you're lying awake at night just wondering about your retirement because it's tied into the stock market, yep, you should be tossing and turning because the BRICS nations are getting together to devalue the dollar just next week, actually. The Rio Reset is what they're calling it, and they will be devaluing the dollar more and more. And gold has gone up like 40%, which means if you'd invested in that like a year or so ago, you'd have 40% more money. That's insane. So check it out over at Birch Gold. They will send you a free, no obligation information kit if you text Chad to 989898. It's an investment that you need to be a part of. You just absolutely need to have gold backing up your savings and your retirement. I think that's smart. So check them out. Text Chad to 989898. Let's bring in our expert panel. Make the dogs go crazy. Party foul. Steve's in the house. Look at this guy. Oh.
There, Chad. I feel like you spent the first 9 minutes of this program attacking me.
You know what? A bit dog always barks. Say something. I want to know if you're loud enough in my ear.
I'm loud enough in your ear. I'm right in your ear. I'm right in the mic.
I don't know if the volume's good or not. I've been barking about this thing for the last 30 minutes about the deal. You know what's in this cup, or what was in this cup? It's blue.
Is this where you throw in your make wellness bitch right here?
No, yesterday I said that I was peeing blue, and then I'm drinking a blue drink. See the little blue on the edge of the cup right there? I'm not drinking my own piss. I can tell you that.
Oh, okay. I was sick. Do you drink methylene blue in your drink?
No, but no. I take the pill from All Family Pharmacy, but you can get the dropper and put that in there. But I can't imagine doing that because I imagine your whole mouth would turn blue. Ooh, that was the last drink of that. Ugh, I got all the powdery stuff, all the sugary goodness, folks. This was Make Wellness, but I put it in a LaCroix. I've never tried to put it in a carbonated drink. And let me tell you, my kitchen was explosive. I put the hydrated and the energized both in this and made a little bit of a mess. But anyway, it wasn't bad. I needed a little carbonation.
Our household goes through a lot of that LaCroix and the sparkling water and stuff. I don't understand putting CO2 into our bodies when that's what our body's always trying to get rid of.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
So yes and no. I just got a text message from a buddy Brown. Buddy Brown, he's awesome, dude. I don't know if you guys are following Buddy Brown. Everybody loves Buddy Brown. Buddy Brown's a guy who's never been really censored. He's like, I don't understand you guys talking about censorship. You've never had a problem. Everything he puts out there gets 1 million views on. I mean, it's crazy. But I tweeted this last night, Steve. I don't know if you saw it because you don't tweet. And good on you for that. I posted this last night. I was on edge, man. And here's what I said. You guys in the chat, you guys have heard me talk about this. I said, if pulling on this string unravels the entire fabric of society, release the damn files.
I actually did see that tweet.
Yeah. And if you mention the damn binder, educate yourselves on what actually happened that day. This is what I'm getting at. We weren't there for that. We all got played, and every single person there felt like we were representing those that voted for transparency and justice. We were told more was coming. We hoped that you'd be encouraged that something was actually happening. Nothing was happening. Instead, the mainstream media posted their pictures, and you sunk your teeth into every image and bought their reality. And in some cases, their AI dances. I'm not a journalist or a reporter. I'm a podcaster and entertainer. I was honored to be there, and I can tell you this. We collectively gasped when Pam Bondi unexpectedly walked into the room. And when Pam Bondi walked into the room and said the truth was coming, we've all been lied to, and I can only pray that truth will somehow prevail. Keep pulling the string. Keep calling for truth. A society built on that level of perversion and deceit is no society at all. And then, guess what I did? Right under there, I said, and for anyone asking, here's the contents of the binder.
Bam.
So why won't you guys release what's in the binder? What amazes me is the people, and by the way, I have come to despise this effing notebook. Like I told you, I said, when I got home, Steve, I said, I'm going to throw it in the trash. Yeah. And you were like, no, let me read it.
I sat down on your couch and I started going through it, and I'm like, this is everything that's been on the internet since day one.
We exposed this at the Blaze.
Yeah.
I mean, all of this stuff. We had all this stuff. And the one on the Blaze was less redacted than this. People, well, why won't you tell us what's in it? Because you can find it on the internet. I mean, it's not that hard to do.
And it's very it's nothing, there's nothing to that. There's no substance to it.
Well, here's what I said on Newsmax that day. I said, here's the takeaway. One is the letter to the FBI field office that Pam Bondi drafted to Kash Patel. The other is the telling thing is how many victims are actually listed. And these are just the ones we know about. I don't care about the addresses. I don't care about the black book. I don't care because, again, the associates aren't clients. And I really don't care about all the flight logs because that doesn't prove anything. What I want to know is who's in the damn videos, who went down there, who was actually going to the island. And, Elon Musk came out and said, he came out and he was talking about, Trump's on the Epstein list. If he doesn't release it, he's on the Epstein list. My question to you, Elon, is how would you know? Have you seen something? Is there something? See, for him to make a statement like that puts him in the guilty category because I want to know how you would know Donald Trump would be on the Epstein list. And then he deleted that, got rid of it, and recanted the whole thing. And he was, claimed whatever. The dude's on the spectrum, and it is what it is. And I can't imagine dealing with a guy like Elon Musk, who's that volatile, always changing his mind. Don't trust a billionaire or anybody. And when I say billionaire, I just mean an elitist like that that's got all the money in the world. Don't trust a person, even in your own life. Don't trust a rich man that keeps inserting himself in the middle of every scenario and every situation, because that's their way of remaining relevant. And the problem with that is you start believing that you're an expert in all things. You're not. You might be the smartest dude in the world. I don't think Elon Musk is the smartest dude in the world, but you start thinking, you start believing the hype, you start believing the lies, and then you'll start doing a bunch of shit to try to make yourself remain relevant.
So are you saying, do you think Elon Musk was on the list too?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to follow. Is this a?
But if he can say no, if he can say that Trump is on the list, then okay, then that means there's something you've seen. Have you seen a list, Elon? You can't make that claim unless you know.
Yeah.
So how would you know?
There has to be a list. There cannot not, or there at least there was. And
whether there's a list or whatever.
And I start digging into, you start reading, you're talking about reading on the internet and how stupid can people be to believe it. And I start reading into the things about the deep state having a grasp on Trump now, or vice versa.
So I was on our friend Chris Salcedo's show on Newsmax yesterday afternoon, and my friend Chris Hinkle, who is former FBI, he and I had our little debate, and we were basically assigned we said, okay, or is it a cover-up or not a cover-up? He took the position of it not being not a cover-up. I took the position of it being a cover-up. We texted last night and said that we basically agree with one another. But now here's what Chris said to me last night, and this is very telling. You'll want to hear this, because from somebody he said to me, would love to talk with you more about the Epstein suicide, coming from the perspective of an FBI guy. He said, and how evidence collection and case files work. I've explained on Chris's show in the past how Cash and Bondi have had access to the case files from day one when she said the files were on her desk. I don't believe that was an accurate statement. And this is Chris you see here. He said, I also believe two things can be true. Epstein committed suicide and there was malfeasance, which enabled him to take his own life. And I've stated that numerous times. I got to lose weight.
Yeah.
Why am I so puffy?
He may have been on suicide watch. Maybe they watched him commit suicide.
Well, or provided the shoestrings for him to do it and put the bug in his ear that something was going to happen if he didn't. He said, this is Chris, and again, I'm speaking for Chris, and I think he wouldn't mind. He said, I thought it was a mistake on Bondi's part. I don't believe Cash nor Dan are covering anything up. I agree with that. I don't think they are. Nor do I think Bondi is covering up. She overpromised and underdelivered. She needs to stop with sensationalism and speak more from a podium to the press and not on Fox News. I've passed similar advice to Cash. And let me just say, we'll get Chris on the show and we'll talk about these things. I think he's a great source of information. Megyn Kelly, Mr. Producer, if you could go to at Langman Vince, Langman Vince, it's Vince Langman's deal. And he says Megyn Kelly comes to the defense of Dan Bongino. If we could pull that up real quick. Give a reasonable explanation. Let's play this clip right here. I want to see it for the first time.
It's not going well. And
play it.
And they need a shift in strategy. And I really think what needs to happen is I volunteer to do it because I am not conspiratorial, but I totally understand the Epstein case very well and why people have questions about it. I'll sit down with all three of them. Give me Bondi, Patel, and Bongino for 2 hours. Nothing, no holds barred. I can ask anything. And then the audience can see whether they're truth tellers. And I care about them. I don't know Pam as well, but though I know Pam, I don't dislike Pam. I really don't. We would go back years at Fox News. Dan is the only one who I consider an actual personal friend. But the audience knows that, and I hope is coloring, that in on assessing my own bias on this. But this is why you have to sort of keep some distance between yourself and the administration, even when they're your friends. You have to be able to report honestly on them and to call out bullshit when you think you smell it. And I think I smell it, and I'm nowhere near dog poop playground. So I think it's coming from Washington, D.C.
So I think you should call, especially if it's your friends, you should call out bullshit.
Come down, go back to Vince's page there, Mr. Producer. Let's scroll down. I want to do go to the one where she's wearing the black blouse, her hair is down. Come down, let's see. That might be, that one right there. Play that clip.
Very straight shooter. Dan is a wonderful guy, and he's a very straight shooter. He's all heart. He's totally earnest. I don't believe Dan is lying to us. I don't. I don't know Cash as well. I don't mean to indict him at all. I'm just saying I don't know him the way I know Dan, who's been coming on the show for years. We've had many long hours and hours and hours. This is like you. I know him like I know you. No one's going to convince me he would go out there and just blatantly lie. I don't believe it. So let's go down the line of he's telling the truth and Cash is. Again, we're checking Pam Bondi's weird statements for now. I know somebody very close to the Epstein case. I've never said who this is, but this is a very, very well-informed person. And this person from the beginning has told me that Epstein was into young girls. I don't know what he looked at online. I believe he probably did look at what now they just call child sexual assault material. We used to call it child pornography. I believe he was probably into that. But this person was saying in terms of what Jeffrey wanted brought to him at his mansions and his, island, it was the barely legal type. And in many states, that's not unlawful. The 17-year-old sex partner for a grown man is actually not illegal. Now in some it is, and he got in trouble in Florida. So it is a possibility that was his thing when it came to actual sexual interactions. Forget what he was looking at online. And it is a thing that, he had some of those girls who weren't committing crimes with powerful men. And that while he had a very interesting black book that had names including Donald Trump's in it, that doesn't amount to a client list. And there aren't young girls who can point the fingers. There is Virginia Giuffre, who recently died, who was the girl pictured with Prince Andrew in those infamous Daily Mail photos that we've all seen, where she was, I think, 17 and with Prince Andrew. And this is why he got excommunicated from his family. She says the girls were being funneled out to third parties, to other men, and that she was one of them. But I'm sorry, Virginia Giuffre is God rest her, I'm sorry, liar, a proven liar. And not only do I firmly believe she lied about Alan Dershowitz, and she admitted she might have been confused about him. A lot of stuff she said turned out to be just totally false.
All right, let's stop right there.
It's
So you have lawsuits against the Department of Justice pending from the last administration. And a lot of this crap wouldn't have been an issue if Bondi had been real about what she has. But she has media narcissism. And there's a lot of things that she could have put out there they could have bought themselves time to investigate. They could have bought themselves time. I just have to believe. Now, I'm one of the ones who's stupid enough to be seen with a stupid binder. Like I said on Dear America this morning, these big ass things they gave us we didn't ask for. You couldn't just hide it in your pocket.
That's like billboards.
You couldn't walk out and hide it in your pocket. We were sort of ambushed by the media when we walked out that door. But my thing on all of that is I just have to believe there was a better way to communicate all of this stuff. There's so many nuances and complex issues going on surrounding this thing that this administration, particularly this Department of Justice, Pam Bondi, let's narrow that funnel down, could have communicated this a better way. But the woman is a narcissist. She wanted the attention. She said yesterday in the cabinet meeting in front of the press, she said, one time I was on Fox News. I said, Lady, you were on there 125 times in like 6 weeks.
Yeah, always popping that mouth off, just like coming at them hard. That's the only way to put it. She was fiery, you know?
Yeah, she was. And the media loved her. But here's my issue, buddy. So Trump comes out yesterday and he's like, we're still talking about this creep. We're talking about Epstein. Come on. I don't like this. And let me tell you why I don't like it, Steve. Suddenly, the enemies of Donald Trump are silent. Why aren't Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and those guys, why aren't they saying anything about it? Why aren't they publicly posting anything on X? They're not doing anything. And suddenly Trump is not, they're not trying to kill him.
Yeah,
they're not coming at him savage anymore.
They should be coming at him from the aspect, look, he's trying to sweep it under the rug. What has he got to hide? And they're not.
They should be. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, after Elon Musk posted the thing about Trump being on the list, the Harry Sissons and the Krasensteins, the Democrats were suddenly saying, release the list. I mean, we literally had Democrats begging for the list. And now nothing. And they're not trying to kill the man anymore. That concerns me because it tells me there's something going on that Donald Trump is no longer a threat to them. So my question there is, and I don't care what you say in the chat, just look at the facts. I don't care if you don't, you can get mad at me, but listen, as I said this morning on Dear America, you're either here for the truth or you're not. I'm not here to blow smoke up your blouse. I'm not here to do that. I'm gonna tell you the truth. It concerns me that this administration is compromised in some way. I don't like during that cabinet meeting when he was talking about giving more arms to Ukraine. I didn't like the look on Pete Hegseth's face sitting next to him. I did not feel like Pete Hegseth was approving of that. And maybe it's me reading too much into it. But here's the thing. If your enemies are suddenly agreeing with you, there ought to be a pause and say why. Because if I'm now going if I'm no longer going against the flow, if I'm not catching friction, then that means I've embraced the status quo. And it could be that the swamp finally got me. I hope that's not true. But look at the evidence. Yeah. Look at the evidence. Trump said, why are we still talking about this? Because you literally campaigned on it.
Yeah, I don't think we shouldn't back off of it either.
I won't.
Expose
and you know what?
The truth, whatever the truth is.
I'll be honest with you, Steve. My life may be in danger. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the stuff that I get. I mean, the hate, the threats that I'm getting, because they're literally accusing me of covering up for Jeffrey Epstein, of covering up for a pedophile. And we have come out day one ad nauseum. I mean, I could vomit this binder at this point. I'm on news shows every freaking day being asked about this. There's a lot of threats out there. Drano is getting them. He texted me last night. And it was a debacle. I mean, the whole thing is a debacle. You could not have created a bigger setup than what this whole thing was. And I agree with what Megan said on her show yesterday, where, Pam Bondi trotted us out there. She didn't invite us there. We weren't there for her. She hijacked a meeting that was for another purpose and dropped that in our lap.
Let me ask you this. To create those binders, put those binders together, put them in a book, have that all ready for the right number of people that were coming to the White House. You can't tell me they planned that the day of. She planned that before y'all got there, so she knew y'all were coming there.
Yep. They knew.
And I have no doubt that the media was, the outside media was called and hey, we're bringing them out the door.
And I've been there numerous times. That area, the sticks area, where all the tripods and the cameras are set up, I've been there numerous times.
Is that always there?
The tents that are always back there? Yes, the tents are always back there. Every network has their tent. And I sit there and I look at them in the summertime thinking, you guys got to be sweating your ass off sitting in these tents, waiting on news to break. That's literally their job, is to sit there at the White House, wait for a press briefing to pop. If the president's going to say something, they get to run in there. or if Carolyn Levette's going to do something, they get to run in there, or if there's breaking news so that they can look like they're on the White House lawn, they just pop out there. When we walked out that door, and by the way, I would have taken a picture of it, but I didn't have my cell phone because you can't have your cell phone with you in the West Wing. It's in a locker. And so I would have taken a picture of it because there was a gob of cameras in front of us. And yeah, they knew we were coming. I mean, that's my name, right?
Yeah.
That's my place card for where I was sitting at the conference tables. That says over here. That says, I'm backwards. That says the White House. It's a cool little thing. Not everybody has that. Proud of that.
Yeah, they had that planned well ahead of time. They knew who was coming, how many people were coming. What'd you know, a week before you came?
Yeah.
So they knew a week before you were coming.
You know, the thing about it is, what Megan said was you bring the president's staunchest allies and most vocal supporters, and you just railed
and make a mockery of them.
You railed them, dude. I mean, this is White House notes right here. This is White House letterhead on this note. I mean, I was there to take notes on the administration. This is the stuff that I got. Carolyn Levette, talked about the top priorities. Number one, the border. She said that was solved. No empathy on the messaging. We need the budget to pass. Talking about the beautiful bill. Talking about the agenda needs to be passed on the Hill. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Keep up the pressure campaign. Marco Rubio came in. He talked about his approach to everything was safer, stronger, more prosperous. USAID, 300 people globally had the power to distribute money with the click of a mouse, canceled 92% of USAID funding. Bobby Kennedy came in and talked about how Elon saved $8.6 billion in HHS. We talked about different things like changing baby formula from the seed oils. This is the stuff we were talking about.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff you're like, oh my God, it was some big conspiracy. No, literally, this is the kind of stuff we were hearing the priorities of the cabinet members. Carolyn,
so they gave you an itinerary of what the meeting was going to be, right?
No.
Oh,
they don't do that.
Okay.
The last trip to the White House, I had no idea why I was going. They literally said, you're invited to the White House for a special event. Then you get on your airline app and you book a flight and you book a hotel and you go. They don't pay for it. And honestly, they don't give a fresh shit if you show up or not. But you're invited, and that's an honor.
Yeah,
and you know what you do? You go.
I was going to say, but most people that would get invited to the White House would go if they could afford to go.
Of course. Say that again, David. Maybe. Let's see. David's telling me to move to the sheet. We may do that. Let's talk about this thing. You've moved it off of there, but or you moved it down. Lisa Yakinari, whatever her name is, that was the CEO. Yacarino. She resigned from CEO after 2 years of being the CEO of X. And I think she did a fair job. I will remind everybody that she was an executive of the WEF. I didn't like that when they brought her in. But it's interesting. Why is she leaving? What's she moving on to? I didn't trust her coming in because she was an executive of the World Economic Forum. So that's moving around. I can't imagine trying to function under Elon Musk. I mean, the guy's all over the map. But there it is. So I think this is critical, and I bring this up to you guys because who's next? Who comes in? Because this is the town square, right? Supposedly. I hate X as a cesspool. But who comes in next? Especially with Elon being the way he is, apparently feuding with Trump. What's going to happen? We need to pay attention to that. Let me talk to you real quick about who's our other sponsor? Home Title Lock. What'd you say, Steve? You didn't say anything?
Nope.
All right, way to fill the air, buddy. Steve, you'd be great. You would be great.
I started reading about I started reading about your CEO and stuff. I just don't know enough about X to make any comment on it.
Yeah. You guys know with home title lock, I don't know. I just recently bought a house. And every time you do that, there's so many things. You just get bombarded with mail. Everybody's trying to sell you something. They try to make it look official, right? You know how they send you need mortgage insurance, or you got to do your homestead exemption. And all these people are trying to get your information. Well, I'll tell you, there's easier ways to get your information, and there's easier ways for scammers and criminals to actually steal your home. And it's one of the top rising crimes in America today. And it's title theft. What they do is they go in, they forge your name on a document, they forge a notary, and then they go file it at the courthouse, and they can put the title in their name. And then they take out loans against the equity of your house. You don't even know it's happened until the debt collectors come, or you get a foreclosure notice on your home because it doesn't belong to you anymore. I love Home Title Lock. They've been a partner to the show for a long, long time. You need to go to HomeTitleLock.com. And they've got their, you can get a free, if you use CHAD, I spell it Chad, they will give you a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title. And they will give you urgent alerts to any changes that happen. If fraud does happen, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. So I want you guys to go over to the folks that I trust. Go to HomeTitleLock.com and use promo code Chad. It's that simple. And they'll set you up. They'll give you I think a free month to begin with, and they'll give you the free title history report. And just go check them out, man. I mean, your home's title, it is out there for anybody that wants to take it. All right, the FBI. They're launching a criminal probe into Comey and Brennan. What do you guys think about this? Play the clip.
News, Brooke Singman of Fox News Digital has discovered exclusively that the FBI is now investigating the former CIA Director John Brennan and the former FBI Director James Comey in conjunction with the genesis of the Russia investigation. This comes after the CIA declassified last week a report into how that all came about. Let's bring in our panel to talk more about this. Andy Linsky, the White House reporter for the Wall Street Journal, USA Today White House correspondent Francesca Chambers, and Josh Holmes, co-host of the Ruthless podcast and former chief of staff to Senator Mitch McConnell. Andy, start us off here. The fact that the FBI is looking into Brennan and Comey now, when this declassified CIA report came out, people said, will prosecutions follow? We don't know if it'll be a prosecution, but it's a at this point.
No, did the CIA sell out the FBI? What, by declassifying that?
I don't know the answer to that question, but I will tell you this. These are two men right here you're looking at. Absolute garbage. Obviously anti-Trump. Deep state, if you want to go there, if you want to use that phrase. I don't even know what that means anymore. But these are two men that symbolize everything wrong with the so-called intelligence community. I mean, these guys are absolute just... When I look at John Brennan especially, I can't even begin to tell you the level of punchable face I want. I mean, the arrogant smugness that this guy has had over the years. Every time he testified, I was like, I want to just smack this guy in the head. And it's just, it couldn't happen to two better people. These are two guys, John Brennan, James Comey. I call them the high priests of the deep state. I mean, these guys are absolute bureaucratic titans of selective memory and moral relativism. They are garbage human beings. These are dudes who weaponize trust and then had the absolute raw gall to act like they were defending democracy with the smug looks every time they testify. You look at John Brennan, Obama's CIA director turned MSNBC blabbermouth. This is the same dude right here who voted for a Communist Party candidate in 1976, yet somehow he wormed his way into the highest levels of American intelligence. Help me make sense of that. Let it sink in. This is a guy who couldn't pass a basic loyalty sniff test at a barbecue. He got clearance to oversee covert operations around the world. Brennan didn't just oversee intelligence, he manipulated it. See, that's the problem with these guys. I mean, you want to talk about a powerful position. He was the original architect behind Russia collusion narrative. He shoved half-baked intelligence assessments into the Oval Office like a man that was handing out flyers for a circus he knew was rigged. And when the whole Russian hoax unraveled, he didn't apologize. No, nobody ever does that. The dude cashed in at CNN and then MSNBC. Became basically a full-time political pundit. And what did he do to me and you? He labeled anybody that dissented against that opinion as threats to democracy, while he's playing the role of some sage elder statesman. Garbage, dude.
Now, are they giving us that to focus on while they're doing something else?
That's always the case, no matter what you're seeing. But then you look at James Comey, the sanctimonious Boy Scout in a $3,000 suit. Another punchable face. I'd like to just take their heads and smash them together. I mean, this is a dude that sits there and writes his own hero story before he ever does anything. You want to talk about a dude in love with himself. He's supposed to be the apolitical steward of the FBI. And you got to remember, those department heads, they're not supposed to be political. They're not supposed to be one-sided. You've got to handle that thing with blind justice. But he turned the FBI into an agency that was basically a private courtroom where he got to be judge, jury, and moral philosopher. You remember how he rewrote the legal definition of intent just to keep Hillary Clinton from wearing a jumpsuit?
Yeah.
Send her to prison. I mean, he laid out an ironclad case for gross negligence and just waved it off. No reasonable prosecutor is what he said. Well, he wasn't supposed to be the prosecutor. That was not your job. And then he got fired. You know what he did? He leaked classified memos to a friend to trigger a special counsel investigation and weaponized his own firing to launch an inquisition against a sitting president, all under the veil of patriotic duty. That's not duty. That's vengeance wrapped in his goofy-ass smirk. So anyway, these guys played God. And I hope there's an investigation that brings them down. I mean, I just turned some evidence right there.
Yeah, so I don't. What are you going to bring them down to?
Well, it's like the clip just said. Will they get? Nothing's going to happen.
No,
it never happens. There's no way if you. I mean, first of all, these guys, they're the intelligence community. They're the law community, the CIA, the FBI. These people never eat their own. And so can you trust Pam Bondi's DOJ to do anything about that? And here's why they never do anything about it, because they know at some point in time they're going to be out of control and somebody else is going to be in there and they're going to come after them. So if they go after and they actually indict, say, Comey or Brennan, well, at some point in time, Cash and Pam are going to be out. And then they know they're going to come after them. So basically, I'm going to let you slide if later on you let me slide. It's a damn swamp creature, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and how can that not be happening? I mean, we could put this right back into the DOJ now. Everything. It could go both ways.
It can go both ways, and this is what happens when power goes unchecked. Bring back some tarring and feathering. Bring back the stocks, man. This is what happens when power goes unchecked. This is what happens when egos go unpunished, and these people get a celebrity status in their head, and they think they're untouchable, and truth becomes a tool instead of a standard. So, I said it in my book. Where's my book?
The higher we put these people on a pedestal, the further they have to fall. And it ain't going to be pretty. Whether it's your Elon Musk or your Donald Trump, God, I hope not in anything going on that, he's not the one that falls, but it's they're going to.
In my book, Am I Crazy? The only thing worth reading in this book is it's so time-stamped because of what was going on at that point in time. The only thing in this book relevant right now is the introduction. That and my mother's forward, what she said.
And the answer to your book is yes. Yes then and yes now.
Yeah, I am crazy. That stands the test of time. But what I said was, we are crazy. Who the hell is content to consistently bathe in the ignorance of today's crazy thinking? Social media just serves to give you a bigger daily heaping spoonful of stupid. We gobble up dumb opinions, fake news, clickbait, online pablum like a fat kid who just got permission to come off Michelle Obama's school lunch diet. And I said in there, here's the problem with social media. people start thinking, or having the cameras in front of you all the time, or a microphone, just like Comey and Brennan, or Pam Bondi, or any of these people, Elon Musk, and even Donald Trump.
Is that whole Comey thing, is that a big enough distraction to take away from Epstein?
And
listen, I don't think so.
But again, nothing's going to distract us from that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's necessarily being used as a distraction. But the point I was trying to make is people have a false sense of celebrity and they have a false sense of authority. That means they set themselves up on a pedestal as experts thinking that there's something they're not. And that's what Brennan and Comey do. That's what Bondi does. That's why they gave that condescending bullshit answer yesterday at the cabinet meeting when Pam Bondi was like, I said, no, we know what you said, lady. I was there for it. So again, these guys, they're not going to go after them. And to your point, Steve, no, it's not a big enough distraction. Not a big enough distraction. I mean, and it's not even a decent distraction. But it's interesting that they come out and they're like, okay, we're not going to give you Epstein, but we'll put these guys out there on the stake to, on the spit and roast.
That ain't enough for me.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it pisses me absolutely off, dude. Jake Tapper, he did call for the Trump administration to release the full Epstein files. Play the clip.
So what's really going on here? I mean, what's really going on? Well, experts such as our friend Julie Brown from the Miami Herald, who's been covering Epstein for years, say that the notion of Epstein having an easy-to-access client list is likely a red herring. And that's what the Trump administration is relying on, that there likely isn't a list per se. But they are also now relying on the fact that because it's MAGA influencers who often put forward so many falsehoods, legacy news media won't push the point, that while there might not be a list, there are certainly files that can be released. There's a trove of information that the Trump administration is right now refusing to share. Information that could well point to the powerful folks who availed themselves of the sex trafficking victims of Jeffrey Epstein. If you go, for example, to the FBI vault online, you can see that there are 22 files containing thousands of pages. Most of them are heavily redacted. Now, sure, of course, redact the names and identifying characteristics of the victims. But why not make the victim and witness testimonies public? As Julie Brown points out, there's still so much we don't know. From the investigations by U.S. attorneys in Miami and in New York, witness interviews in the U.S. Virgin Islands and New Mexico. Brown writes that there's still more evidence that hasn't been published, including, quote, Epstein kept video cameras in most of his residences, and Epstein's autopsy, nor the report of the investigation into his death, has ever been made public. So while there may not be an official client list to be released, as the administration is now saying, there's a lot of extra information that is not being made public, despite Trump's Justice Department basically now saying case closed. This isn't going to go away. The public, you're being played for fools here.
Yeah. We literally did 6 years ago, 7 years ago, how many years ago it was. We did, I guess it was 6 years ago, we did the Epstein expose. You can go find it. It's there. We did.
As long as they don't want us hung up on the Epstein file, the Epstein stuff, while they're doing even something else, now you start like, are they messing with us?
They are. And that's what keeps me up at night. These DC idiots playing dress up in their power suits, in their power-hungry charade. We live in a country where a convicted child sex trafficker with direct ties to world leaders, billionaires, celebrities, intelligence agencies mysteriously dies in prison, and you bury the story deeper than his corpse, if he's even dead at this point. I mean, you've said it as a meme, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. And yeah, Jeffrey Epstein had plenty of ties to Mossad. Could have been Mossad. I've floated that out there many, many times. But I know the evidence is out there. I did a deep dive on it. It's out there. I'm on public record. And the issue is the truth is a threat to the little club of protected elites. So you want to know where's the client list? The information's out there. Jake Tapper makes a great point. I hate to admit it. but you don't run an international underage sex trafficking ring alone. The dude had a Rolodex, so did Ghislaine Maxwell, that could burn down half of Hollywood, the Ivy League, and the halls of Congress. And yet here we are with no justice, no accountability, redacted files, sealed court documents, and media silence so loud that it's absolutely deafening. And if you want to talk about threats to democracy, it's not Trump, it's not social media, it's this. It's the intentional hiding of truth to protect the most powerful predators in the freaking world. You and me, Steve, we'd go to prison for missing a tax payment. But these monsters, they're going to get private islands and cushy plea deals and silences, from the courts and no naming co-conspirators. They're going to get an army of lawyers and bureaucrats that are guarding the gates of hell. It's not about gossip. You don't have to release the names to me, but somebody, damn it, needs to get charged. Because this isn't about partisan politics. It's about children, underage girls. I mean, it disgusts me when I hear Megyn Kelly talking about, well, in some places it's legal to be with a 17-year-old. That's gross. But these were children that were trafficked, abused, discarded like trash by people who smile for the camera and preach morality to the rest of us. You had Jeffrey Epstein, who had the Zorro Ranch because he wanted to use it for his own purposes of bringing in 20 virgins at a time, impregnate them with little Epstein so he could create his own society. The dude wanted to keep his head and his penis in a jar in case they could bring him back from the dead.
And people like that do not kill themselves.
They don't. If you are so obsessed with yourself of creating a whole world and society of little Epsteins and putting your dick in a jar along with your head in case they can bring you back to life and put you back together, that's insanity, dude. But that is narcissism and egotism to the point where you've idolized yourself. You don't hang yourself from a cot in a federal penitentiary. And this country, this society, we can't go forward if we allow that level of darkness and deceit to fester in the shadows. So we need the information. We need the names. We need every damn dirty detail exposed like a spotlight on cockroaches. And I don't care how many people it makes uncomfortable. It should, because that discomfort is what's going to shake this country out of its slumber. But here's the issue I have, is there's so many people out there, the social media people, the people that are chatting in the comments, all these different things. Y'all are going after the wrong thing, man. You got mad at us for trying to do the right thing. When we were handed something, we're like, maybe this administration is going to do something, because our goal was to protect children and fight for justice and demand the truth, not some watered down version, not a sanitized press release. I want the whole ugly, incriminating truth. And if you don't get it, you're going to get memory hold, and you're going to get stories trotted out there like Brennan and Comey. And ultimately we are complicit because we're doomed to repeat the same shit. Do you think there's not another Epstein out there operating right now?
His shoes were filled for that need right away.
Yep, right away. These guys with that fetish, with that level, you think that's not being done? Of course it's being done. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, man. So let the chips fall where they may. I just want to know,
even if he did not, and I say kill himself, what did they have on him that would cause him to commit suicide?
Well, they could have made it so ugly. And there could have been some level of torture.
What did it's just unbelievable.
And that's my fear. That's my fear, is these people get into this administration and they get that visit, that dark visit. And I hate being that level of conspiratorial, but damn.
I actually kind of like it a little bit. I like it when you go there.
Well, I can go there. I can.
I just,
but I don't need that visit in the dark either.
I don't either, but I added another security camera yesterday.
How many security cameras you up to now?
I'm 8.
Damn.
You can't come on my property, my neighbor's property, anybody's property without me seeing you.
Yeah, we were over at your house the other night. You looked up how many Wi-Fi devices were connected to your deal. Oh, and you had how many? 28?
It's 28. It was 28. I guess it's 29 now.
Well, I don't have that many security cameras, but by God, I got some freedom seeds.
Yeah.
And we're ready to rock. And you'll take me. You'll take me. Oh, that's right. We do stuff on YouTube, don't we?
Yeah. I want to clip that.
Anyway.
Timestamp that and, do your thing, magic to it.
Well, until the information sees the light of day, none of us are safe. Let the chips fall, but let them fall in the light, man. That's all I got to say about that. Let's look at Shock Uyghur whatever it is, Young Turks. That's what I call them, Young Turks. This is the one time you'll agree with him. Every time I'm with Dave Rubin, I ask him how to say this guy's name. Chank. I think it's Chank. I can't know. It's literally insane to say that you won't prosecute child rapists. Trump administration says there were hundreds of underage girls who were raped, and we won't prosecute a single person who did it. Isn't that nuts? Previous administrations also didn't prosecute. What is this? No, see, that's the deal. None of them have.
It's deep state cover-up.
And everybody keeps saying this with the Biden administration that got rid of it. No, I think it goes further back than that. I think we're back in Clinton. And don't forget, guys, George H.W. Bush was the head of the CIA. You think he didn't perform some cover-ups out there? He didn't know where some of the bodies were buried? And I'm not talking about Epstein necessarily, but just the society that fostered, that created an Epstein. All right. My buddy Jim Brewer, let's play that clip. Jim's a nut, dude, and I love him. I need to shoot him a text message. He's crazy, but listen to this. Listen to this right here. Play a clip.
Names are true, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's some names on there that, when I say broke my heart, it breaks my heart. They're huge.
Yeah, I was going to say that music on there might get us, but here's what he said. He revealed that this is at Shadow of Ezra shared this. Comedian Jim Brewer reveals that the names on the Epstein list are so powerful and influential that their exposure could bring down governments and topple the entire entertainment industry worldwide. Where's the problem?
I was going to say there shouldn't be a problem. Entertainment, we have AI now. We can make our own entertainment.
But what if, I mean, when I talk about bringing down the fabric of society, what if, Steve, what if you can no longer run your Wi-Fi to check your cameras because the things that provide Wi-Fi have now been destroyed?
Yeah,
because the people who run those services, those connections, those companies, all of those conglomerates, I mean, everything from your, I mean, how deep does it go? How much do you lose? I mean, you could literally plunge this society into the dark ages in a certain way if the wrong people were indicted or taken down and those people decided to do their own little suicide switch.
And I'll tell you off air later how they can take somebody down.
So you got Russiagate hoax, 0 arrests. People arrested for COVID pandemic, 0. People arrested for Butler assassination plot, 0. People arrested for Mar-a-Lago raid, 0. People arrested for 2020 election coup, 0.
That's a total failure.
Well, in the good news, we're taking back some Chinese farmland.
We should take it all back.
Which was never theirs to begin with.
There should never be a foreign entity or owning U.S. soil.
Man, they own a lot of it in Texas. 29 states, 277,000 acres.
Who's selling it to them? Is this from individuals or these corporations?
Yes.
They hide that stuff.
All of it. Play the clip.
This is going to shock the viewers. China reportedly owned more than 277,000 acres of agricultural land in the country. Is this a goal of ours now to have China own 0%? Could you get that back from China? Tell us what's going to happen.
Well, first of all, how great to be with you again. We had a wonderful event this morning announcing this. I had Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, Defense Pete Hegseth, had AG Pam Bondi. We had 3 of the country's best governors. We had several people from the Hill. This is an all-of-government approach.
What does that mean?
Well, what that means is that if we're going to really ban China from buying our farmland or any foreign adversaries, it's got to be the states have to lean in, the federal government has to step up. We've got to have executive orders out of the White House.
A law?
There's a law needs to be passed. A lot of bills have been filed, but it hasn't moved. I don't know that America really understands, or at least our elected officials.
How is this allowed,
recently,
though? China owns Smithfield Foods, one of the largest food processing plants in the United States, land near military bases. I've covered this for 20 years.
Well, it's now all changed today. I mean, today we, for the first time, are saying no more. Banning the sale of China farmland, working with the states, getting the bills passed through Congress, having an executive order, but also, Laura, looking at how to potentially claw some of that back.
So you got China and Bill Gates. They own basically Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I'd love to see. But they own basically all the arable land in America. And you don't claw it back. You get it back 100%.
It has to be 100%. There should be no foreign ownership of U.S. land. And I said it on your show a long time. I mean, years ago, I remember we talked about Smithfield, and I brought it up. That says they're Chinese owned. They own all the hog farms and stuff like that. And not just the companies, but the.
Well, here's the thing. I can't buy land in
farms.
China. I can't buy land in China.
No.
I can't buy land in China, so why should China be able to buy land here? None of that makes any sense to me. And they've been doing it for 70 freaking years. I'm rounding up. I don't know how long, but it's been at least half a century they've been doing it. All right, we got to get out of here. But Biden's doctor just flat out refused to testify about Biden's cognitive decline.
Did he plead the fifth or just not show up?
He just wouldn't. He just wouldn't. He just got up and walked out. Got up and walked out and said, "We're not doing it."
That actually tells us everything we need to know right there.
Yeah.
You don't want to get up in front of Congress and you don't. All you got to do is get up there and lie again. Go ahead, get up in front of Congress and lie.
Yeah. I mean, no one has any qualms about saying that Joe Biden is demented. His brain is gone. So. Yeah,
he's not going to incriminate himself.
No. Well, they lied by omission is what they did. They just refused to say anything. And here's the thing:
actions speak louder than words.
Let's. Would you rather date an illegal or a liberal?
An illegal.
I think I would agree with you. Let's play this clip.
Would you rather date a liberal or an illegal immigrant?
Illegal.
Why?
Man, liberals are mentally ill. Plus, they're usually whores. With the illegal immigrant, maybe you'll find like a Muslim who has a low body count. But if they're an American, it's like Lenny Kravitz said, American woman, stay the f*** away from me.
Are you really kidding me?
Not at all.
You are a piece of shit.
Who asked for your opinion?
Who asked for your opinion? You're on a public
Are you drunk,
street.
ma'am? Are you drunk, ma'am?
Are you delusional?
Stop doing drunk.
Are you drunk?
And this is exactly why the 19th Amendment should be repealed, right here. This woman knows nothing about politics. She has no sense about history, but she just wants to run her mouth. This is exactly what's going on.
Dude, that is...
Why are you here? No one asked you to be here. So go over there, talk to whoever you want. You're not wanted here. Bye-bye. Go.
I'm not leaving.
Well, I mean, see, this is the problem with this country, man. These women come over here, they start talking, and nobody will wants them there.
Women come over here.
Why are you here? No one wants to talk to you.
No one wants to listen to your
You're here, though. I'm not coming to you. You're coming to me. By the way, why are you... It's a Cleveland show. Why don't you cover up? You need some fucking Islam in your life. You need some Islam in your life. Go find Jesus Christ.
Miami, dude. People walk around in bikinis.
Thank you for not wearing that. I do appreciate that.
I am covered up.
Well, you know, when you grade on a curve of Miami, that's basically comparing yourself to whores and tramps and stuff like that.
This guy's class.
This is pure comedy. Again, another reason why the 19th Amendment should have been repealed. And again, the 19th Amendment did more damage than COVID-19. Why?
Where's the lie? Really?
That's hilarious. I didn't know where that was coming from.
Dude, and you know what? She proved his point. She literally proved his point. And I
almost cried there.
Oh, man. I mean, where's the lie? Where's the lie? You do realize that if those of you who might get upset with us saying that, you do realize that our founding fathers established the whole system so that you had to own land to be able to vote, and you voted per household, not per individuals in the household, which basically said the head of the home.
This household votes this way.
And you had to own land. You had to have skin in the game for the election outcome to matter. It mattered. But you got dolts like this chick. She doesn't know what the 19th Amendment is. She has no clue. She's just mad because he said he'd rather be an illegal than a liberal woman. And then she just went off and proved his damn point. All right, that's funny. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're mad at me, you'll get over it tomorrow. And we don't care. You come walk a day in my shoes and you'll see. I love all of you. Steve, I love you too. That hat, we got to get you a new hat, man. Look at this thing. It looks like you've been working in the fields. This thing.
No, that's crisp and clean, and look at that.
You got a little pinch in it right there in the middle. Yeah.
It's, when I'm out there working the ranch, I'll wear it sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Party Foul Steve, you can follow him at Party Foul Steve on the socials. You can send him some Venmo or something like that. He's a grifter. He loves it. He doesn't mind. He'll spend your money.
Wait till my book comes out. There
you go. I got a new book coming out. I was working on it yesterday, trying to get the final edits on that thing, and it's a job. It's a job, but I want you to get it. Jesse Payton and I will be in Northwest Arkansas at the Grove Comedy Club, and we'll be over there Friday and Saturday night. 2 shows on Saturday night. So get your tickets now. Go to watchchad.com. We're still all this week. Anything you purchase from PrayThirdTees.com, PrayThirdTees.com, you are contributing to this Texas flood tragedy. 100% of the proceeds of those sales will go to that. And I don't know. We've sold, I don't know, several $100s worth of stuff, $1,000 worth of stuff. I don't know what it is, but we'll, I haven't looked since yesterday, but we will donate every single penny of that. So go over there and buy some of those shirts we've got on closeout. And we're glad to do it. So keep praying for Texas, man. We didn't talk about it, but it just absolutely breaks my heart, these stories that are coming out. And we're all connected in some way, form, or fashion to all of this. So it's sad, sad deal. Party Foul Steve, any final words before we decide what we want to do for lunch?
I've been thinking about lunch for about an hour now.
Lunch, dinner, whatever we're calling it these days. All right, buddy. Thanks for jumping on. Thank you, guys. Please hit like and go down into the comments below and leave us a hard comment. Thank you for participating in the chat. If you have not subscribed to the Chad Prather channel on YouTube or Rumble, please do that, or go to where podcasts are offered, particularly Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review. It helps us in the rankings. I don't even know what our rankings are. But usually we're somewhere in the top 100 podcasts in our category. So go check it out. And I appreciate you guys so much. I'm so thankful for you. Thank you for participating every day. Thank you for David, our producer, David Medina. Follow him at David Medina PDX for some great content over there. And we'll just keep out here running our mouths and fighting for truth, no matter what they say about us. We love you. God bless you. Come to a show. I'm at Zany's, Nashville, next week, and then Toccoa, Georgia, the following night. So check out the schedule. Yeah, we're going to be up in Lubbock, too. I need to go visit my friends at Allied Oilfield, and we're up that way towards Leveland. All right, out of here. God bless you guys. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.